Touchdown, Alabama, let's get it.
The process, no one can stop this. Hottest show in the streets, I bet you can't top this. Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
The process.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome into a new week of The Process, Crimson Tide Recruiting. I am your host, Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown, Alabama. You guys know what I need you to do to start this video off. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, subscribers to the notification bell, be notified when we drop content on our YouTube channel. I am here each week to break down the latest of Crimson Tide football recruiting news, so be sure that you do not miss anything by hitting that like button, and also be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber. I know things have been a bit quieter on the recruiting side for the Crimson Tide over the last few weeks, but there is a high chance that things are going to start to get a lot better for Alabama on the recruiting trail over the next few weeks. With the month of June rolling in, a load of guys have official visits locked in to officially visit Alabama during the month of June. We also have a lot of guys coming to Tuscaloosa to camp throughout the summer, and the first Nick Saban football camp of the summer will actually happen tomorrow. So some of the top recruits are trying to get on campus to camp as well, get evaluations. Some guys are going to want to earn some offers from the Crimson Tide. Other guys are going to want to change the offers that they do have into committable ones by camping in Tuscaloosa as well. So there's a lot to look forward to when it comes to the Crimson Tide's recruiting outlook for the month of June. A lot of guys, like I said, will officially visit throughout the month. The first group will be on campus this weekend. When you take a look at this weekend, it is an impressive list. When you take a look at guys like 5-star wide receiver Brandon Innis heading to town, but this weekend is actually just an appetizer for what the rest of the month will look like, specifically the weekend following this upcoming weekend, where the Crimson Tide will host a long list of top prospects, including a couple of 5 stars in the 2023 recruiting class. But first, I want to provide an update on Jaden Wayne, the 5-star defensive end at Lincoln High School in Tacoma, Washington. He actually released his top 6 recently and included the Tide, Oregon, Georgia, LSU, Michigan State, and Miami. This is a guy who feels that the Tide are prioritizing him in the 2023 recruiting class. After a recent Zoom call with Nick Saban, he said he feels like he is a priority for Alabama. He said it feels good to know that they feel that way about him. He said he knows that they are the best, so he's going to continue to try to work to make sure that he is on that level as well. As far as what position he will play at the next level, it is a bit of a mystery if he decides to possibly commit to the Tide or sign with Alabama in the future, because Nick Saban is open to him playing either outside linebacker or tight end. He actually plays both positions for Lincoln High School at the moment. I always say when you take a look at outside linebackers who the Crimson Tide go after, some of those guys who fit that frame look like tight ends, and Jaden Wayne is one of those guys. He is looking to possibly officially visit Alabama during the fall. As far as a commitment decision for him, he's keeping it up in the air, but he does have several official visits lined up, has already begun taking official visits as well. So it looks as if the Tide will most likely get him on campus for an official visit during the fall. After visiting the Crimson Tide in April, he said that they were at the top of his recruitment just based on their production and their player development and just the feel that he gets from the program. So Jaden Wayne has the Tide in his top 6. Feels like a priority to them. What position you play for Alabama in the future? It is a bit of a mystery, like I said, tight end or outside linebacker. We will just have to see what the future holds for the 5-star prospect. But on this episode, I actually wanted to preview this weekend, talk about 5-star wide receiver Brandon Innis, 4-star wide receiver Tyree Adams, and a couple of other guys. Talk about where their recruitment stand heading into their official visit to Tuscaloosa on this weekend. I also want to talk about a couple of 2023 offensive linemen who the Crimson Tide are going after, and we're going to start today's show off by talking about one of those guys, and I'm going to start it off by talking about Tyree Adams. He's actually a 2023 offensive lineman out of St. Augustine High School in New Orleans, Louisiana. He has actually locked in an official visit to the University of Alabama for the weekend of October 7th, which I think will be a huge weekend for the Crimson Tide on the recruiting trail, because that is the same weekend that the Tide will host the Texas A&M Aggies for a highly anticipated game. I'm pretty sure Alabama fans are excited and looking forward to that matchup, and I'm pretty sure a lot of recruits are going to try to get to Tuscaloosa to see that matchup in person, and Tyree Adams will be one of those prospects. Like I said, he's a 2023 offensive lineman out of Louisiana who the Crimson Tide's coaching staff has been in constant contact with. He has primarily talked to the Crimson Tide's offensive line coach Eric Wolford, of course, and also Louisiana area recruiter and the Crimson Tide's linebackers coach and defensive coordinator Pete Golding a lot. Said he has been really building a relationship with both of those coaches. He said it has felt good to just have an opportunity to talk with them. He also said that he has a lot of respect for Nick Saban. Said he feels he is, if not the greatest coach of all time. So he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, not the greatest coach of all time. So he has a lot of respect for Coach Saban as well. The Crimson Tide's coaching staff likes his athleticism. They like his ability to move around with his impressive footwork, and also like that he's a very versatile prospect at 6'6" and approximately 285 pounds. St. Augustine primarily used him at the tackle position during the 2021 football season, so it will be interesting to see how the Tide continue to try to build a relationship with Adams. There's mutual interest on both sides. Like I said, he has that official visit locked in for the month of October. We will have to see how things plan out when it comes to the Crimson Tide recruiting 2023 offensive linemen. A side note that I would like to add when it comes to the Tide recruiting offensive linemen compared to the way they recruited them in the 2022 recruiting cycle, I do feel that they will add a couple of more guys compared to the number. They only signed 3, which eventually turned to 2 because Dane Shore had to transfer because of personal reasons, had to deal with some mental health issues, continue to try to get better as a young man. So Dane Shore is no longer on the Alabama football roster. So going back to the Crimson Tide's 2022 recruiting class, they only signed 2 offensive linemen in Elijah Pritchett and also Tyler Booker. Tyler Steen did transfer from Vanderbilt, so the Tide are pulling in 3 new offensive linemen heading into this football season in Tuscaloosa. Another offensive lineman in the 2023 recruiting class who they are going after is Peyton Kirkland out of Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando, Florida. He's actually in Alabama right now. He plans to be in Tuscaloosa over the next couple of days ahead of his commitment date, which is on July 23rd. He's a offensive lineman who the Crimson Tide have been recruiting over the last couple of months. He has been building his relationship with the Crimson Tide's offensive line coach Eric Wolford. Of course, he plans to take several visits throughout the month of June, and he will announce a commitment on July 23rd. Like I said, originally he said he wanted to take a couple of visits to Tuscaloosa this summer before that commitment date. This seems to be the first visit. It will be interesting to see if he can get back to Tuscaloosa before that July 23rd commitment. He will announce his decision alongside another top Alabama target and 5-star linebacker Malik Bryant out of Jones High School in Florida. Both of those guys will share a commitment ceremony. Both of them will announce a commitment choice. Looking at both of those prospects, these are 2 guys who the Crimson Tide really like in the 2023 recruiting cycle, so I'm pretty sure Alabama fans should definitely be having their eyes on that particular ceremony that's going to take place in Florida. It'll be interesting to see how the Crimson Tide improve their position for Peyton Kirkland during this 2-day visit to Tuscaloosa. But those are the 2 offensive linemen I wanted to update. Now we're going to transition and focus on the guys who will be on campus this weekend. Of course, these are prospects who we at Touchdown Alabama have confirmed plan to be in Tuscaloosa to take their official visits on this weekend. And the first guy I want to talk about is Brandon Innis, the 5-star wide receiver out of American Heritage High School in Plantation, Florida. He has had several unofficial visits scheduled to Tuscaloosa in the past. Unfortunately, he was not able to get to Tuscaloosa, but he said he's definitely planning to make it to Tuscaloosa this weekend to take his official visit. Although the Crimson Tide have not had an opportunity to host him over the last couple of months, programs like Ohio State, USC, Florida State, and also Miami, those programs have had the pleasure of hosting Innis. Fortunately for the Tide, they will get him on campus for this official visit, and I think it's going to definitely help their chances, and I think they have an opportunity to improve their spot in this recruitment. I think visits go a long way, especially an official visit when you get an opportunity to just basically pour love into these kids and show them everything that you have to offer. I think the Tide have a great opportunity to improve their relationship with an American Heritage product. When you take a look at American Heritage High School in Florida, the Crimson Tide recruit that school very well. They have a lot of great relationships there. So I think the Tide are in a great position to improve their position in Brandon Innis' recruitment. USC and Ohio State would definitely be major parts of Innis' recruitment. They have been in the past. They are going to be a couple of the top teams in this recruitment moving forward, but it's going to be important that the Crimson Tide get him on campus and show him a good time if they want the opportunity to land one of the best route runners in the 2023 recruiting class, one of the best all-around wide receivers. So we will see how his official visit goes and how that improves, how it could improve the Crimson Tide's position in his recruitment. Alongside Brandon Innis, the Tide will also host 2023 four-star quarterback Dylan Lonergan. Of course, they have a verbal commitment from Eli Holstein, the four-star quarterback out of Zachary High School in Louisiana. But like I said, when Eli Holstein verbally committed, the Crimson Tide are not closing the door on adding two quarterbacks in this 2023 recruiting class. And Arch Manning is not the only quarterback they are going after, although they have a commitment from Eli Holstein. Dylan Lonergan, the four-star quarterback out of Georgia, is the other signal caller the Crimson Tide are really interested in possibly bringing in this 2023 recruiting class. A bit more of a dual threat guy when you compare him to a better guy in terms of using his feet outside the pocket when you compare him to Arch Manning and Eli Holstein. A solid overall quarterback, definitely one of the top signal callers in this 2023 recruiting class alongside those guys. So it's going to continue to be interesting to see how the Crimson Tide navigate their push to add a second quarterback. Of course, they have a lot of interest in Arch Manning. He seems to be still open to getting recruited by them, with them still having that official visit locked in. So that is just another development to just continue to keep your eyes on as the Tide continue to recruit this 2023 recruiting class. Will the Tide add another quarterback to this recruiting class, and who exactly will it be? So definitely keep your eyes on that. Alongside Dylan Lonergan and Brandon Innis, it will also be another wide receiver in the 2023 recruiting class in Tuscaloosa out of Oklahoma, and four-star wide receiver Cole Adams, one of the more explosive wide receivers with the football in his hand in this 2023 recruiting class. Took an unofficial visit to Alabama a couple of months ago. He said that visit was great. After that visit, his relationship with the Crimson Tide's coaching staff was continuing to progress. Told me that he had a crazy good relationship with the entire coaching staff at Alabama. The Tide really seemed to be interested in him. Getting him back on campus, I think, could possibly go a very long way. Just taking a look at his recruitment and how the Crimson Tide have recruited him over the last couple of months, I think they will have an opportunity to take the lead in his recruitment with a great visit. So that is something I'll pay attention to when it comes to Cole Adams. Like I said, I think the Tide will have an opportunity to take the top spot in his recruitment with a great visit. Rounding out this set of official visitors for the Crimson Tide is Riley Williams, a tight end out of Oregon, a four-star tight end in the 2023 recruiting class, a prospect we have not talked a lot about. We have not talked a lot about tight ends in general when it comes to the Crimson Tide recruiting the 2023 recruiting class, but they are recruiting a couple of different tight ends, and Riley Williams is one of those prospects, currently standing at 6'5", 6'6", weighing approximately 230 pounds. He's a guy who has a lot of experience lining up wide as a wide receiver. He's considered to be more of a receiving tight end when you take a look at what he brings to the table. Great route running, could possibly be one of the best route runners at the tight end position coming out in this 2023 recruiting cycle. So I think it's good that the Tide are getting him on campus, continue to build a relationship with him as well. We'll keep our eyes on Riley Williams' official visit this weekend. But that is what I wanted to talk about on today's show. Preview those official visits. Like I said, those are the guys we have confirmed at Touchdown Alabama will be on campus this weekend. This list could grow. It could get a lot longer. We'll try to continue to keep you guys updated on all of that. I also want to talk about the Crimson Tide recruiting some top offensive linemen. One of them already being on campus, taking an unofficial visit visit Peyton Kirkland, the four-star offensive lineman at Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando, Florida. He will be in Tuscaloosa a couple of days here trying to see what all Alabama has to offer its student athletes. As always, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Before you leave, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the notification bell, be notified when we drop content on our YouTube channel. Then head over to touchdownalabama.com, pick your subscription today. With that subscription, you will be able to read all of our subscriber-only articles, get your hands on our yearly print magazine issue as well. Then head to the Google Play Store if you have an Android device to download the Touchdown Alabama app. If you have an Apple device, head over to the Apple App Store to download the app as well. As always, I am Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama.
Process.